Hello and welcome to the Pride Pod here on Loud and Proud Orlando, live every Monday night at 8 p.m. to talk everything Orlando Pride. I am your host, John Rollins, and I am joined by my co-host and friend, Luis Carlos Pineda. Luis, how you doing?
Hi everybody. Thank you so much for being live. This is the Pride Pod here, Loud and Proud Orlando. We're about 13 people live right now. Yeah, I mean, a draw, a heartfelt draw. I felt Orlando Pride deserve more. But again, soccer is not about who deserves more. It's about getting the results. And unfortunately, the result was a 1-1 very courageous draw in Cary, North Carolina, which is a really tough place to play. Um, and I think the next game coming up for the Pride is literally a test, is the biggest test yet. And it's what's going to set apart everybody that's talking about the Pride negatively now. And it's going to definitely cost either a lot of rejoice in Pride fans by maintaining a level of great soccer, um, or it could be Pride fans pretty start to get frustrated with some of the results, right? Against Kansas City, which is a renewed rivalry from last season. But I have high expectations. But we'll discuss today, as John was saying, we'll discuss all about the NC Courage draw 1-1 against the Pride, NC Courage against the Pride. And we'll be discussing the previewing the game against the Current with the lineup and score predictions. Yeah, John, that's what I got to say so far about that.
Yeah, this game, of course, was being played at the same time as the Orlando City game. So both myself and Luis, I'm sure you had it on your laptop, Luis. I had it on my phone whilst I was watching the City game. So I was constantly going back and forth, and then later on, watched it back and really just. Like you said, I think felt like a game we could have won. So a little bit frustrated to only get a draw, but also, I said last week on the pod, and I stand by this, that North Carolina Courage is a very good defensive team. They're very good at home, so I think going there and getting a draw is a good result. I think it's a lot like you said before. The mentality we have built up of we're a winning team that's going to win every week might not be the case this season, and I think last season we were spoiled for wins. This year it's proving to be more difficult. We're having more challenges in games. We're losing games. This one, we went down a goal and then had to really, work hard to get back into it. Finally, right at the end of the game, we did get that draw. But you know, hopefully in other games we're not going down, conceding, and then having to fight back into it. We don't want to continue to do that. But it is something that we're seeing, right? The defense has not been as strong, the goals aren't as free flowing as they were last year. And that's okay. I still think we're a very strong top four side. I still think this is a good result. We just maybe have to taper our expectations and not think about Orlando Pride as if they were this team as they were last year that's just going to win every game and find a way to do it every time. I do think we have that grit there, but obviously the performances just aren't quite at the same level as they were last year.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is a this is number one, the best league in the world when it comes to women's soccer.
I mean,
And
last year was an
and
exception for parity.
yeah,
Like, it
the
usually does not go like that in this league.
plus there was a lot of unpredictability, John, for a lot of the players. So I mean, there wasn't a lot of tape on Brie Martinez, on Corey Dyke, on Carrie Bello. I mean, there wasn't a lot of tape on Barbara Banda, But now, teams adapt and they have coaching staffs, and they see tape and they prepare for that. And I think the Pride, whether you think that Seb is doing the right thing or not, I do feel he's onto something. I think that Seb is a top level NWSL coach. Orlando's getting some results that, like for example, this last one right here. What I will kind of say is that, and I repeat it, and I said it on the preview as well, is the Pride has lost a little bit of that offensive minded edge that they show last year. And again, the lack of, today, I felt like on the game, one of the flaws Orlando had was the finishing. I mean, the Pride, controlled the possession. They created a lot of chances, but just the finishing was just not up to par. And I just really don't think it's just because Julie Dahl is not available, or because Summer Yates is not available. I mean, 90% of the team of last year, it's right there. A lot of the new signings, obviously we saw Prisca show up with the goal. I'm so happy to see her score. Hopefully that motivates her to keep going, because that's the Prisca I wanted to see, a Prisca that was a threat in attack, but they lack the quality in front of goal. And NC has one of the best defenses, in my opinion, in the East, by Rouch. Very compact defense, and the Courage early goal just made Orlando kind of chase the game around them, and they broke down eventually a really well structured defensive unit. And I guess we faced a really good defensive unit, which was North Carolina Courage. I don't know, what were your first initial thoughts on this, John?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, they're a very strong defensive team. I think whenever we're gonna, who scores first is so important in these games against teams like that. They got that one goal and then, decided that they wanted to kind of try and shut it down. They almost did for most of the game, but that really allowed us to get into it and to start to play. I mean, we had 63% of possession. We had double their shots. It was from the stats, it was all us. From the eye test, when you watch it back, most of the second half is all us, right? I think we have this issue of we have a lot of possession, we create a lot of chances, but we don't always score a lot of goals this year. And I think we're lacking in our quality in the final third. We've said it the last couple episodes, and this game was the same. Barbara Banda, I don't want to talk negative about her, but she hasn't scored in a while, right? This is something that's becoming an issue for us, because when we rely on Barbara to score all the time, when she's not scoring, which is really understandable, we can't expect her to score every game. Who else is getting goals? Chilufya managed to get one in this from a crazy header right at the end of the game, but she didn't come on till later. Your starters, Angelina and Marta and Carson Pickett, they've got to be contributing. They've got to be putting the ball in the back of the net as well. And I just don't see that quality at the moment in the final third. I think too often we're making the wrong decision when we're in those last, positions to pass the ball or to cross or to shoot. And when we do have shots, it's either, like half of our shots in this game were off target. We only had 7 on target out of the 15. It's just, we need to be more clinical. And I think if we fix that, Luis, we'll start winning games every week again, because we're creating so many chances. We're just not putting them in the back of the net.
Do not move McCutcheon and Gottrad out of the lineup.
Yeah, that was
No,
much better. Yeah.
I'll take that as the positive. And I know when it comes to, I know Seb knows it's a long season, and he trusts his team 110%, and he's doing load management. This is the reason why you see Emily Sams in the back in the
Yeah. And
you
also
know
Zara's played really, like,
right,
we've got that option to rotate, and
right,
I don't feel like we're
right. No
getting,
one
that weak,
right,
honestly.
no one's stepping on any toes.
No.
There's no drama. It's just literally Seb trying to tell Sam's, hey Emily, I need you for the whole entire season. Don't get injured, please. Do you need a couple of days off? We have Sarah in top shape. Let's have her play. And I'm sure she would not mind resting a little bit, because
Yeah.
Again, this is a league in which it's so complicated because you set tactics for all your opponents in each individual game. You get the results, but then all of a sudden the league resets, and you play the same teams back over again, and you have to reinvent the wheel. The Pride had to do this twice, and they won the Shield. That's how magical that last season was.
Yeah.
But it was, a historic season. It's like this, again, mentioning, if you watch football, the 72 Dolphins, or
Yeah, I mean, everything
these,
came together last year.
everything came, the
Everyone was
Cubs.
performing at their
Right,
peak.
right.
Yeah.
So now, one thing, if I want to do, and we'll look at the goals and all of that, but one thing that I feel now that I would like to see more is something that I've not seen in a while. And I used to see it a lot with Julie and with Summer. And it's the three, because this is a 4-4-2. You could see it's a 4-4-2, but this is not a 4-4-2. Technically, Marta drops down to a 10 position. It becomes a 4-2-3-1. And what I've seen is a very direct, team, but we're not creating any confusion on the opponent when it comes to the attacking third. We're becoming really predictable.
Yeah, it's too
So
obvious.
I think what we need to do, it's do position switching, or we call the position swap, which is, you have your left winger, your right winger, and your 10, and then you switch positions. It's a tactical maneuver in soccer
In the
that you
middle of the game, you're saying, not
right when
on the
when
line.
Orlando has the ball,
Yeah.
because that way you throw tactically. That coach's plan to stop Marta, she's gonna see Carey there, or he's gonna see Carey there. And it was, why is Carey there? And why is Marta on the left? And why is it, so we need to see that. And then, that's going to take also a lot of pressure out of maybe Barbara Banda, because the back line is going to be focused on, okay, where's Marta going now? Where's Abella going now? And it's kind of, they could lose, they could have some defensive lapses there and open up a new attacking avenues. I don't know how you feel about that, but I feel like that could help open up some of the
Yeah.
congestion right there, trying to contain the Pride.
I mean, he put Angelina on the right wing for this one, and
Yeah,
this I think Carson Pickett was playing the left mid,
the left, yeah.
from what I could tell, and not Carey, but they do change a lot. I agree, man. I think we need to see a change up. We've talked about how we're not sure about Angelina being a winger. I think that's a big difference. Like maybe Prisca getting the goal means that she's gonna get a start again. I don't know. I would start Ali Watt, even though she hasn't been performing, and
Hmm.
being that clinical. I still think I'd rather have a true winger on the wing than Angelina. I do like Carson Pickett out there. We'll see. I think we're lacking in winger quality right now, Luis. We said this the last few pods. We need the wingers to step up either with assists or goals. And I think they're too far back right now. I know you talked about being a 4-2-3-1, but often it looks like a 4-4-1-1
Yep.
because our wingers are just playing much deeper than I would like, and they're not getting high enough of the field, and they're not connecting high up the field. Too often we break, and it's a Marta pass to Banda, and she's just completely on her own up there. Like, where's the support runners? Where are the players in and around her to be able to give her options when she does make those runs? So, for me, that's the biggest issue we have, and still had in this game. Definitely the two D mids with Morgan and Haley looked a lot stronger, a lot better, like we'd like to see. But the wingers, I'm still not sure that we've got that figured out.
Yeah, I mean, look at this play right here. So like you said, the on the left wing, Pickett and Abello
Yeah,
change positions. Um, just look at that right there. You know, Pickett stays back, but then there's a lot of that passing back because the other team is pressuring, and they're fast on the pressuring ball. Look at Morgan right there driving the ball forward. She takes one on, boom, Marta. So they have the possibility. It's just that these type of balls last season there were goals.
I mean, that was a beautiful piece of play there, and the
That's a beautiful.
synchronicity, like,
Yeah.
that's what but we haven't seen a lot of that this year. That really
Yeah.
stood out because we haven't seen a lot of that intricate play up front.
And now this right there, this right here was, good for Morehouse right there. But just look how, you know
The
Oyane, I believe, was it
well,
Oyane?
I think this is Zara, I
Zara?
think, yeah, if you watch here,
Yeah,
there,
yeah. This
see
is
Zara
yeah,
comes way
yeah,
out
yeah. Way out.
to
Yeah,
take the ball.
yeah,
Young defenders are gonna do this,
yeah,
right? She comes way out to get the ball, and then the downer has to come across. No one's really fast enough to get back to cover.
yeah.
Is it
Yeah,
Koyama or was it
yeah.
Matsukubo? I couldn't remember. I think it's
I think it's
Koyama.
I think it's Ikoyama. Yeah, but
Um,
honestly, like I
but no one
feel
covers. And then I also think I know you're praising Anna here, but I think I'm disappointed in that because if you watch Louise, she comes out and then she
with her
turns
back.
away. She turns away from the ball as if she's afraid of the ball. And I
Yeah, she
get
should
like
have
it's
cut.
scary as a keeper. I played as a keeper. I know what it's like when you're running out
Oh,
there and you gotta get on the ball and you've gotta
yeah.
tackle it. Really, you just gotta hug the thing and claim it while another defender is running at you full pelt. But what I don't want to see from my goalkeeper is that like she turns away as if in fear it's gonna hit her. You need to get your hands up, protect your face if that's what you need to do. But I don't want to see my goalkeeper doing that, Luis. For me, I don't want to be too critical on Anna because I think she is a very good goalkeeper, but we've seen this season just I think technical errors, and for me, this one great to run
Yeah.
out, but she could have stopped it. You got to smother that ball. You got to claim that ball. And it is very unlucky that it comes off her and lands to Roush, and Roush puts a great volley in. It could have landed anywhere. But I do blame Anna for not claiming it because for me, she looks scared when she comes out to get that ball. And I don't want my goalkeeper looking afraid. You need to come out with confidence and win that ball.
Two mistakes there. Oyane and Savoshi, in my opinion. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think there was a bit of
I
error from
think
everybody.
Oyane was not. I mean, and that tells you. I mean, she comes from Europe. I mean, Europe is very highly regarded, and she couldn't catch Ashley Sanchez. Like, she couldn't
No.
catch Ashley Sanchez.
Great
Just
break, but
just
we
look right there. Look right there. Ashley Sanchez is already one head away from her. Look at that. She's trying to run back. It's too late. It's too
yeah.
late.
I mean, if it's so many things. Like if Kylie is stuck with her player, but she goes over to cover, and it's just it all happens so fast.
Yeah. So North Carolina goes up. You got the Backstreet Boys right here, clapping, and looking at it, John. I mean, yeah, you're in a way. I mean, I saw it as a good save with thinking he's using her leg, but after looking at the review, yeah, I mean, she could have
Yeah.
she could have cut the ball, but
It's just that like I don't know if that's like her confidence thing or what, or it's bad technique, or she's guarding herself, or I
hmm.
think it's great that she rushes out, and usually she's very good when she rushes out. Like she's
What
known for being good off her line like that. So I just think she did the wrong thing there for me. I don't want to see my goalkeeper making that reaction. And then it's you got no time to get back as well. If you come out, you got to win the ball.
Yeah, these mistakes cannot happen against Kansas City, Karen. That's for sure because they're a better team for sure right there. Now, after that, the Pride still try to control possession. Don't get me wrong. Great job by Morgan. Great job by Haley McCutcheon for sure. Um, that's another, Sarah right there. That like those type of things.
Yeah,
Those are again.
she's a
Something's gotta give, right? I mean, you want to rest. You want to have faith in your whole entire squad. Um, Sam's got the chance also with Sab, and maybe Sab's trying to do the same thing with Sarah here. but this is against a better attacking third, like let's say Chewinga, that would have been a goal.
Yeah. It's just a little bit of naivety, right? And I think
Right.
I don't want to bag on Zara because I think she played really well in the what was it the Thorns game that she
Yeah.
started in. Um, I do think she's a good defender. Sometimes you're so keen to win the ball back as a center back, you make those steps, like in that goal there and here. Like we've seen it from all levels of the game, Luis. You know, and as a center back, if you make an error, make a wrong touch, dwell on the ball too long, and you get picked, it always looks really bad. But I think confidence is key for Zara, and I think that she is very good. And I don't want her to be dismayed by this because I do feel that she can contribute and will only improve as the season goes on.
Yep, you're completely right. And again, we're going into the game against KC, and it's just gonna get in. It's harder. And they had
Yeah,
some situations here with Pickett, and Murphy also came up, but it just wasn't enough. A lot of the plays, the finishing plays you know weren't panning on, and you know I don't know. Do you feel Barbara's losing her confidence a little bit? With all the controversy that sparks on her, and
I
how
think.
everybody seems like she's like, everybody seems like he's fouling her and playing rough against her, because that's a given. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think she's just overthinking it in some ways. Like I feel like she's trying to go down when there's not enough of a call, and then like other times she's not going down, and then like I also think that she's like we talked about before, just on an island often and running to nowhere without a game plan. I think a lot of the remember when she came last year and she first started playing, we saw that from her where it was just okay, Barbara's great and she's out there, but she's not connecting with the team and she's just kind of doing what she thinks she should be doing on her own. And I feel like that's a little bit of what we're seeing again. I just think there's a big disconnect between her and our midfield. And I too often, like I said before, she's running up the field with nobody around her, no support play. And then she's not holding up the ball to wait for her players or her teammates. I think too often she's just trying to go it alone all the way, but off like she's already ran away from goal and now she's got to turn around and somehow make a shot all on her own when really she just needs to look up, find a pass, and connect with somebody. But it's not all on her. I think the attack is just not gelling as well with her, and she's reverting back to this mentality of like I got to do it on my own, which she can do, but that's not how we win games, in my opinion. We win games by using her as a great striker as part of a team.
Now, I do want to say, and I know this probably not gonna a lot. Some people are not gonna like this, but I mean, I'm gonna say it either way. I mean, Friday is the beginning of the week. Coming up is a massive game for Orlando Pride against Kansas City Current. I commend to at least get 10K. You're talking about Wake May Park. It was just a normal game for them. I mean, yeah, it's against the champions, but it was packed. I mean, it was packed. And kudos to the North Carolina fans, because that's an added bonus. And Orlando really fought hard for that draw. Um, you know, I felt like North Carolina lost 2 points here. They didn't close the game against the Pride. They could have, and they didn't close the game against the Pride. And in the end, it bit them back pretty hard. All these people probably left a little bit disappointed, but again, the Pride are not the champions, not for nothing. They have a lot of quality still, like John said. The Pride has a lot of quality, but we need to see uh, we need to see the players a little bit more on that attacking edge a little better, and be able to finish. The ones that they create. The chances they create, because the competition is going to get higher and higher. I don't know if you feel the same way, John.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we'll talk a bit about KC in a minute, but really they're the only team that are still performing at a very high level, in my opinion. Everyone else is, faltering here and there. Washington, us, Gotham, the likes of uh, Wave and Angel City are getting stronger as well. So there's a lot more parity this year in the league. And I think that we have played a lot of the tough teams. Honestly, we have. We've played most of them. I think all of them, apart from Kansas City, in my opinion, already this year. So we've got through it, and we're still up there in the table and in the mix. But this is going to be a really tough test against Kansas City coming up, and then after that, we're going to have a few. I don't want to say easier games, but let's say less challenging games on the schedule. So a draw away here at North Carolina was great. It would have really been upsetting to lose this one. And I think everybody's looking at us like, is Orlando Pride, are they bad? Are they not good? Everybody wants to see our downfall. And I think that it's obviously not as strong as last year, but in my opinion, we are definitely still a top 4 team in this league. And we need to show that against KC when they come to town. In this one, what a goal by Chilufya right at the end, Luis. I mean,
Yeah, so
we were
looking at the
fighting,
look,
fighting, fighting, and I was like, is it going to come, or are we going to get this equalizer? Because it felt a lot like the Thorns game where we were just all over them but couldn't get the goal.
yeah, so Prisca mentioned that she's been practicing. She's been told by the set piece, the I think it's Giles, um, to make sure that she uses her body to fend off defenders and just head it in. And so she flicked her head, not knowing, you know, to either, she, I don't know if she attempted to score, but she flicked her head with intention of getting the ball, and then eventually it was a complete botch by the keeper that had a really great night so far, but she went to catch butterflies. She went to catch butterflies, but in the end, it was a really well goal by Prisca Chilufya, and hopefully, this motivates Prisca to go back because Prisca, let me tell you, you're facing Chawinga, and everybody's talking about Chawinga, and I mean, we need to stop Chawinga, man. I think you and Banda and Grace Chanda as well. I mean, you guys are definitely 3 tremendous players, and physically, I think in the way I see it, I see Prisca like an F-150, and Chawinga, it's still a really good Jaguar, but I mean, an F-150, it's a massive truck. I mean, it could definitely. She has some toughness. We need to see that against North Carolina. But I love the fact that she was able to score. I actually texted John. I was like, "Oh my God, Prisca scored! I'm so happy." I'm like, "Yeah," because I'm a Prisca fan. I'll be honest with you. She came with such big hype up from Mexico. But yeah, I'm glad that she scored. We have the goal right here, and then we'll read some comments.
Marta with the run. Nearly 2 minutes gone.
There you go.
Now in stoppage time. Orlando's had the edge in
What is it? TK? What? Take him out?
corners
I don't know what they're saying on that one.
and in other vital stats, but they trail 1-0 on the road.
I know.
Keep
Kick
it out.
Oh, keep it out. Okay.
I think they're trying to keep it out.
Okay.
To the middle, headed up. Punch down and off Murphy. 1 apiece.
I heard Corey. Was that Corey? Yeah, I can hear Corey screaming. Look. Just listen to how Corey is screaming. Look, you can hear it. Look right here.
0 on the road. To the middle, headed up. Punch down and off Murphy. 1 apiece. +3, the time of the game-tying goal.
That's I feel your pain, man.
Yeah, I love this guy. This is like, yo, I mean,
This is the John from North Carolina, man. What's going on
yeah,
here?
for
It's a
real. Shout out to
doppelganger.
the bros who like women's sports. Yeah, this guy is doing it
Yeah.
up. Yeah, when they cut to him, I was like, oh, I feel you, man. I mean, I loved it, but yeah, I would do the same thing. I'm like, how did we just concede with the last kick of the game? Chilufya with a great header. I mean, it's like a nines flick header that you see, like old school style, where it's just
Yeah,
like, let
yeah.
me try and knock this to the back post. You don't see that enough anymore, but I think that's what she was going for. But she flicked it so high, and it came back down with so much speed that Murphy was like, I don't know if the sun was in her eyes. Probably not at 8 o'clock at night, but it looked like that. And yeah, you gotta love it because Chilufya finally gets that goal. I know, Luis, you've been calling for her to improve those performances. Hopefully now, the floodgates will open and Chilufya will have a bit more confidence and we'll see Prisca get multiple goals because we know she can put them in the back of the net. But yeah, I mean, a savior at the last minute, really. That's what this was. Because I think if we'd have come out of this one without a draw, Luis, not that I would be more concerned, but it would be very frustrating, I think, to be like, okay, we've lost, however many in a row. I think a draw here is a decent result. We could have won. And now let's take that and say, okay, Kansas are coming into town. We got a bit of confidence. Let's roll.
Shinta 003, terrible from Morehouse. Of all sad words, yeah, I don't want to see a resurfacing of the Morehouse confidence issues. There you go. Shinta, Dyke has the pace to catch up. So, what do we want? A better defender in Dyke or an attacker in Ohaine? Personally, and not disrespect, I think Ohaine is new in the team, and I think Corey Dyke has been in the team already for one full season, and I feel Corey Dyke is. It's just my opinion. I don't know. I mean, Seb's the coach, but I understand Ohaine comes with all the accolades, but I think Dyke is more she knows what Seb wants, essentially. I mean, there's no flustering with Corey Dyke. Nick Shields, that's the double-edged sword when you press aggressively. Sarah's increasing minutes, games worried about Rafaela's availability, says Nick Shields. Completely agree with you, Nick. Completely agree. Yep. Shinta 003, definitely need Dyke starting against KC. I completely agree with you. I mean, she already tamed Chawinga. And not to disrespect Ohaine, I think she could come in the second half. But if you do a 100-meter dash between Chawinga and Ohaine, Chawinga will win. But if you put Corey Dyke, she's shown that she can outpace or pace Tama Chawinga, man. I mean, she already did it. She completely contained her, 110%. Nick Shields, Sarah's increasing minutes. Thank you so much, Nick. Appreciate you. Of all sad words, I think the league's defenders have learned that they can foul the crap out of Barbara Banda without the ref caring much. I totally agree with you. I think it's. I mean, I don't know if I would consider that bullying, John, but I mean, I know it's soccer, but I mean, it is a little bit. I mean, it's getting a little bit out of hand, dude.
I genuinely feel like there was a conversation with Barba. I don't know whether they did this or not, but about her trying to like get a foul because she was getting fouled so much that maybe she was gonna take some, go down, let's say, to help the ref see that she's been fouled. Let's put it that way. I don't know if that conversation ever happened, but I see her, you know, let's say taking the hit
Yeah.
and going down more than before. Before she would kind of like ride it things
And
out
get
as
up.
she was getting tackled and keep going with the ball, even though they were fouling with her. Now I think we're seeing more of her like trying to get the call, and the refs are just not giving the call at all. So it's
So,
frustrating to see. And I think she's that plus, we're not performing as well in the attack and not being as well connecting as well. And the fact that everybody's figured out how to defend Barbara, you're kind of seeing she's hitting a wall and she's going to have to try and do something different, I think, to get over that.
do you think that Um, maybe Kylie needs to step up and just be a little bit more shouty, more vocal. Like be like, "Hey, ref, like what the hell?" Like, I mean, I'm not gonna say cuss out the ref, like
Yeah.
Jensen, right? like Jensen,
I feel
I can
like
read his lips.
yeah.
Every is an F bomb after F bomb. I'm not saying to get to that level, but
I mean,
there's a way to say it.
I think it's some refs that are just calling everything, and then some refs don't call anything, and it's just NWSL refs are no good anyway. But they're gonna put you in the book for complaining. They're gonna put you in the book for being like, "Hey, what's going on?" I think there's definitely a respectful way to point it out to the ref and be like, "Hey," and I think I see Marta doing that quite a lot. But if he's not gonna call it or the ref's not gonna call him, it doesn't matter if Barbara gets fouled and goes down because it can happen 5, 6 times in a game. She's not getting the calls. She's not getting the calls. At which point she's got to, in my opinion, just be like, okay, I'm not getting the calls, so I'm just gonna start writing out the tackles like she was last year. And maybe she's got to play it game by game as to like, should I go down? Is the ref going to give it, or should I not go down because the ref's not giving me anything? That's part of this, being a smart, intelligent striker. Part of that is knowing, can I beat the center back? Will I get the call? That kind of stuff. And you got to learn as the game goes on. You got to adapt and see, hey, I'm not getting the call. Therefore, there's no point in going down every time.
I think the league's defenders have. Oh, no, I already read that. Thank you. Of all side words, center backs are the least of our worries at the moment. They hit the nail with a 4-4-1. Literally no support in the first half for Banda, says Shinta0013. Thank you. They announced it was sold out there, says of all sad words. Oh, makes sense.
They got a 10,000 seat stadium, so not too
Um,
hard to sell that out.
Yeah, but still, I mean, the atmosphere looks,
Oh
by
no,
the.
I'd love
I
10,000
mean,
for us every game.
you.
I'm just saying, like it's not a 20,000 seater. Don't get that excited.
Be honest with you. You imagine if the Pride will play at Osceola Heritage Park. It will sell
If
it
you
out
had it
every
sold
night.
out, I think that's a
It will sell it
fun.
out.
It's
It
a
will
fun
sell it out every night.
atmosphere. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's the thing is you're always comparing one to the other, especially on a weekend where both teams play and you've got one that's almost full and one that's like half full. But I do think the attendance is getting better this
Yeah.
season. I've seen it improve. I think I see the advertising all the time for Orlando Pride. So I
Yeah, and
know
I don't.
I see
No.
billboards all over town. I see there's signage in downtown. There's ones on I-4 that are constantly out there 24/7. So I know the club is pushing hard to advertise Orlando Pride off the back of that, championship win to get more fans in the ground, and hopefully it's working.
For sure. It says here, I sat with a few of the Black Swans who found me before I got in a fight. Oh, you're gonna fight? Man, I'm gonna fight. And it took us like 5 seconds to realize the ball went in the net when Prisca scored. Wow, they chant keep it out. Oh, keep it out. Okay. I thought they
That's
said rip it out like kid.
quality chant there from
Keep it out. Keep it
yeah.
out.
It's up there with I Believe We Will Win.
I know. I believe. Murphy channeled her inner Morehouse on that. The Shinda003. Of all sad words, I absolutely thought Murphy had it in her hands. Yeah, me too. She had a really good performance, and she totally botched it
Yeah,
on
a lot
that
of
one.
people saying that she is slipping down the pecking order in the
Oof.
U.S. women's national team replacements was going to be potentially the one, and it's not going well for
Well,
Casey Murphy. But a nice volley also, I want to say, by Roush on that goal.
yeah,
A player that
definitely.
I always admire. So if she's
No,
ever
Roush is
available,
a
definitely sign her up.
would you take Roush in the Pride? I
For
would.
sure, yeah, for sure. If
100%.
it happens, you want to go into
Yeah. So
KC Current, the babies are coming to town.
the upcoming Orlando Pride versus Kansas City Current match. It's going to be at Explorer Stadium. And obviously, it is. And I'm saying this again. This is a turning point game. Because as John was saying, We have a slump of games after that are games that we can definitely win and get a result. But this is a set the tone derby. It's a match day 8 clash that will set the tone for both teams' campaigns. Especially as everyone, even the most biggest pundits of women's soccer will say they're both playoff teams, whether you like it or not, they're playoff teams. So right now, their playoff positioning, the how they're going to be looking, during this season, it will be determined here. Technically, this is not considered a derby, but it is a rivalry due to the high stakes encounters they had in 2024. And also, the Banda versus Chowinga match. So, what a way would be for Barbara Banda to come back in this game full force. I mean, I think this will send also a tone, not just for the team, but also for her as a player to kind of shut up everyone that's doubting her right now. So even though it's not a traditional derby, I will treat it as such. I don't know how you feel about that, John. Expectations.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's derby vibes. I mean, last year the storylines were all us in Kansas City. The winning streaks, the win in their house with us over celebrating apparently, and you can't rock the baby, Luis. Don't do that in front of the Kansas City fans. They'll get very upset. And then the 3-2 in our house where Marta sat down two of their defenders for probably the best goal I've ever seen live in person. I'll never forget that one. And that was the story, and then we knocked them out and we went on to win it all. And they, I think, never really got over that. I think, like Washington, we created enemies last year because of our success out of Washington and Kansas City. And they're going to want to come into our house and spoil the party. If you put up on screen, Luis, we've got the table to kind of put into context how big a game this is this week. I think everybody, all the pundits, will be talking about this one as the game of the week. Kansas City in first now. We were neck and neck for a few weeks. They've broken away with their win last weekend. Obviously, we only got the draw, so now they're on 18 points. We're on 16. But with a win this weekend, that would take us to 19 points and restore our place at the top of the table, Luis, if we do manage to get the dub over Kansas City. So this year, last year, La Bonta versus Marta, Chewinga versus Banda, Emily Sams versus whoever you want. I don't know from their back line. There's so many storylines here, and I think that this is going to be an exciting game and probably our toughest game of the season so far. Even though I think we've played a lot of tough games, I think this one is going to be the biggest challenge.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Orlando Pride and Kansas City Current have faced each other 11 times. Orlando holds a 5-2-4 record. 5 wins, 2 draws, 4 losses. So Orlando right now, one thing that favors Orlando is that this game is at home. And I say it now. People are over asking who is the counterpart. So who's the kryptonite? Who is the Joker of Orlando Pride? Who's the bad guy? Who's the good guy here? Who's a comparative equal? And I think Kansas City comes into mind because of Chowinga, because they have Debinya, because it's a very comparable. So it's two powerhouses going at it. So it is the best two teams in the NWSL, but in name recognition for players, in momentum. So I think Orlando has a huge chance to set the tone, like I said. And again, this is a um definitely both teams are poised to get a result. I think Orlando Pride has a strong chance of winning. I know people are sometimes tell me, Lewis, you're selling smoke, but they're very compact defensively. I think Emily Sams has to go back into the starting lineup. Same with Callie Strom. But Barbara Banda needs to come back. She has a knife, between her teeth. She needs to definitely. Marta's going to be playing in top level. I mean, this is a game that motivates every single player in our roster. And so right now, Orlando needs to show up. So I command everybody that's watching, show up into the game, because this is definitely, it is going back to the semifinal in 2024, the 3-2 semifinal win. We need to get up in the score early. We need to show that resilience. We need to show that edge. And it was an attendance record when it came to come support. Look, I have the attendance record of that year, of last year. It says of 8,340 people. So almost 10K. So phenomenal. So that in itself could play a huge role. Now, when it comes to the game itself, the Pride needs to finish the chances they make, because that's the biggest difference from last year's Pride to this year's Pride. Banda is going to have to put a little bit of the extra time to see and analyze defenses and see how she can make herself more useful in the attacking third, and not just expect. Because, Barbara, everybody's going to mark you, Barbara. Everybody's going to play rough against you. Everybody's going to try to foul you, pull your jersey. You have to be prepared, I feel, to also do your due diligence to analyze these center backs, these defenses that you're going to, put a little bit more time on the tape and just try to, maybe work with Marta or the attacking third and try to see a different tactic offensively. And I think with that and our solid defense, I think Orlando can get the W. I'm 110% certain on that.
I think you're right, man. I think it makes sense. Like we've been having some challenges, but I think that they're always up for a game against Kansas City. I think it just has that, rivalry mentality about it, which I know they're going to, hopefully in our house, have that extra edge. That means that we can go ahead and, win this game like we did last year. It's going to be tight, but we've got to find that grit. We got to dig deep and have those moments where we can, say not in our house, because I don't want to say we're losing that, but we are starting to lose a bit of that grittiness and edge. Like we fought back against North Carolina, but at home we got to make sure that Kansas City don't come in, and get a couple goals and then we're chasing the game. We don't want that. We want to start well. We want to defend our house, and we want to hopefully get out of there with a clean sheet, something that we haven't had in a few weeks.
Shinta0013. I hope Doyle talks her friend Turnbow out of retirement to come join Orlando. So we're talking about former San Diego Wave Kelsey Turnbow. She was great. And I heard that she's going to real estate. She's going to sell some houses right there. Some closing costs. It must be tough in California to be a real estate agent. With all due respect, taxes are so high there. I don't know who's going to afford unless you're like, I don't know, an actor. But hey, Shinta knows something we may not know. John, look, Turnbow out of retirement, come join Orlando. I'll take it. It's another midfielder right there. I'll take it. I don't know. I like her. I think she's a good player. Looking at Turnbow, 40 matches, 23 starts. She played with Julie Doyle. She's Julie Doyle's friend. So good job there, Shinta. Sorry, randoms. There you
uh,
go.
I mean, do you want to do the lineup for this one, Luis?
Yeah, for sure. Let's do the lineup. Yeah, let me go ahead and pull it up real quick. Oh, yeah, yeah. And thank you to everybody that's joining.
This
If
was
you're
quickly Kansas City's lineup last game. Obviously, Chewinga, Zanerato, and Dabina are both playing well this year. Di Bernardo, Labonta, Hutton. I mean, it's a great midfield. And then the back line, Mace, Cook, Sharples, Rodriguez. I think it's a very good team. We know their threats. We know what danger they can be. Um, and then off the bench, Michelle Prince, Ellis Wheeler, Haley Hopkins. They've got an all around good squad and they know how to use it. So we got to be on our A game for this one, man.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm putting the lineup here. So I think this is gonna be it.
I think
I don't know. I
you're gonna
don't know
go
if
Matt
you.
Crone and goal.
My
You got Matt Crone and goal.
roll, roll pride, man.
Is that what I see there?
Uh,
Wow.
hey, man. I mean, I don't know. How do you feel about it?
I think Anna's still gonna get in that spot. I don't think they're willing to
Yeah, I know what you mean.
change it out yet from that goal. Like obviously
Uh,
we're frustrated, but I don't see it changing right now.
um,
Especially not against Kansas City. I mean, I feel like that's a big game to put Matt Cronin for.
you think so?
Yeah. I think it's a lot to ask her to step up for that one.
Look, we'll make the
But
changes.
if Adder keeps making mistakes at some point,
Yeah, Macron for sure.
it's a reasonable argument.
It's Crone time.
I don't know whether they see that last one as a mistake or not. Like we said, I think it was, but
All
maybe not.
right. So to me, I'm talking about me, and then you can make the changes, John. I feel this will be a good lineup. And now I put Chilufya, and I know Seb's the coach, but if I was Seb, I would tell Chilufya to be my tactical ace of spades because through that side, you're going to have Temwa Chewinga. So I know Morgan and Haley are gonna do my dirty work in the mid. I even know Marta's gonna go down, and I even know also Samson and Adana right there. It's gonna be hard to get to the middle. The wings are gonna be the toughest part. And with Chewinga on the left, I feel like Chilufya, if she becomes the shadow of Dyke, even though Dyke can, she already proven that she can definitely do a great job marking Tema Chewinga. It will be cool to see Chilufya using that presence to also help Dyke on that coverage, but also off the counter, use her speed and her build to manhandle pummel players and look for the pass to Marta or with a shot with the right foot or across to a bellow. And I think it's time. You one really set a tone into your NWSL career. If Seb gives her a chance, I think this is her biggest test to date. And I think it'll be great to see her on the starting lineup. And then you have a uh Ali Watt coming in the as a sub, fresh legs, and she's gonna be. We already know what she can give us. She can be definitely disrupted on the wing. I don't know how you feel about that, John.
Yeah.
Would you make any changes?
No, I like it, man. I think we talked about with Carson and with Carey. I think that left side, like they are able to switch on and off, and it doesn't really matter which one's playing the left wing and the left back. I do want to see them get higher up the field, both of them though. Whoever is doing that, and then the other side, I think, like we discussed, Angelina's, I think, was better on the right than the left, but I still don't think should be the one on the wing. I think she just doesn't attack directly. She's much more inside and much more of a like playing as a
Right,
midfielder, less of a winger. So I think Chilufya, yeah, I mean, give
right.
Prisca the start or Ali Watt there, I think is fine.
Man, look.
But
I feel
Chilufya just scored a goal, so I think it's smart to go with her. I also think you could we discussed this before, play Onyane there, play Hernandez at right wing
right. You
to
can
start
play.
and Corey, and then you could bring on Chilufya later if you want to.
Correct. You can bring. That's another one. You can bring Ohaine right there to go into the attack more. Now, why not Angelina? And it's not because she's a terrible player. No, it's a you have to do. It's all about tactics here. You're facing a team that's gonna also come into your house and try to beat you. They have really important, influential players, some of the best in the NWSL. We gotta be smart how we line up, especially against them, and play a little bit of destruction ball. Like a little conservative.
Yeah,
And kind of test the waters because then you can make the substitutions in the second half pretty easy. You take Chilufya out, you put Ali Watt, you could take Marta, put Angelina in there with Morgan and Haley, Annabello.
yeah.
You know,
I mean,
uh, you can not even put Chalufia here. You could put, Ali, and then, Ali could become, you can change Banda for Chalufia in the second half. I mean, and like Seb has done that before too. I don't know.
yeah, I agree. I think I do prefer Angelina overall to like Morgan, but I think you're right. I think in this one
Yeah,
you need two
a double
strong
mid.
defensive
Yeah,
midfielders in there because they've got so many technical players in the middle of the park. The Bina, Di Bernardo, Labonta, they're all really good on the ball. Hutton too, so they can all control the ball pretty well, and they're going to get up the field. They're going to want to play, technical passes in and around our box. And if you've got Haley and Morgan there, that's your, kind of two destroyers that can break things up and then, feed balls to Marta, whoever. I also just think that Angelina hasn't been playing a lot in that position. Of course, she can be there, but right this season we've seen her on the wing. So,
or
right now, I'd like to see Morgan
or
and Haley start this one.
or you keep it simple and you do a Bello here, and you do Angelina and Watt.
I mean, that could happen. I think Seb is more likely to do that in this one. I feel like he's going to go with the players that have played this game last year and know what it takes to beat this
Yeah.
KC current team. I can see that too. Um, it's a tough one. I think the wings are open for debate right now as to who you start there.
Yeah, I mean, I think this probably will be because I know Summer Yates was a number 10 and she also played the left. And I know Angelina could play the left. I like Angelina better on the left, in my opinion. I mean, this could be it too. I mean, I like this. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, I think that's okay. I don't like I said, I don't love Angelina on the wing. But maybe that's good in this game, like we said, because so many technical players. Maybe having her in there and being more of an
You,
inside winger than an outside one would be helpful. It depends what the game plan is from Seb. Like, are we gonna go low block? Are we gonna go mid block? Are we gonna, are we gonna try and take away the space so they don't have anywhere to play in over the
yeah,
top? Are we gonna try and dominate the ball? Are we gonna try and match them, player for player? It's a difficult one, I think,
right.
to get right because I
So,
don't want a fully open game. I think in this scenario, if we have an open game, I don't back us in that scenario with our attack right now. I think the Kansas City attack is more in form, and so if it's an open game, I can see them winning it.
yeah, I mean, you gotta play smart, and you have to also understand who you're facing. And to me, is one of the best attacks in the league. Aside of ours, I think they have. I mean, the best attack in the league. So,
Yeah, I
I mean,
mean,
if
Davina,
you,
Zanerato, and Chawinga all scored last game.
yeah. So if you feel comfortable, I feel comfortable with this back four, which is something that they're already used to. I feel a double pivot formation here with Morgan and Haley. That's what we need because essentially when they have the ball and they go into the attack, um, it's just gonna be harder for them to go through these four players. And also you have to understand Abello can also close down, and then Dyke can close. And look how compact they become. And if it Chalufia goes in, so look how compact they could become at that point. Angelina and Marta will actually lead your attack to go towards Banda. Now, um, another thing Banda could do that I haven't seen her do a lot is just trying to use her physicality to press and to get those balls back and just try to drive the like how we were saying last season, her decision making a little bit about either pass it or shoot.
Yeah.
It happened against North Carolina as well, and I think I think she wants to get that personal score. But if you have Prisca completely wide open, and don't expect just for her to get your rebound after you shoot. Try to assess the situation in the attacking third and try to see if maybe you can squeeze a pass. I mean,
Yeah.
I think people would not be mad if Orlando wins this game without a Banda goal, but maybe a Banda 2 assists. You know what I mean? I think it'd be
You
great either
know,
way.
I would love to see us move into a 5-back formation
That
and
could be.
go with the 3 center backs, play, Carey as the left wing back, play Oyane as the right wing back, and then
Hmm.
end up with Marta and, your 2 D mids, Marta, and then Banda and Prisca as 2 striking options working as a pair
That could
up
be that.
top together, because I
Wow,
feel
that's a great. That's a
I
great.
feel like
That's great.
we I just feel like we said the wings are not working right now, right? And I feel like we have great wing backs like Carey and Oyane would kill it in this position. We've got enough center backs. You could play Corey there, you can play Shavoshi there. You know, I just think if you went to something like this, you might see Banda and Chilufya starting to create and connect as a strike partnership up top. It could be lethal. I don't know if Seb's thought about this. I don't know if they've got this in their back pocket. At times, Luis, we've seen us go into like a 5-back,
Yep,
and like it's we still kind of have wingers out there, but we've seen the 5-back in action. So
I
I
like
just
this.
think, how do we get more support for Barbara higher up to the field? How do we get someone near her that she knows how to play with? I think this could be dangerous. I don't know if they've ever considered going to this way.
No, but I think it's great because it'll just. I mean, the team is just will stay so compact defensively, and people will say, "Yo, but you're playing with five out back, in your own
It,
stadium." I was like,
it's really 3-back when you,
it's
yeah,
literally three back,
yeah.
but again, um, Dyke and Heine, they could build a partnership. I like this, John. I'll stay with this, in my
Well,
opinion.
I also think that we have players that are flexible
Yeah,
positions. So if you went with
correct.
this, like Ali Watt can come on as a striker,
Yeah,
Julie Doyle could come on as a striker when she's ready. Like we have plenty of players, and wing backs. You can bring on Carson Pickett. You could play, Corey Dyke there, etc. So you've got options.
and then also
Like I
look
said,
if
I want to
like
see
if
Barbara with
yeah, like
someone
if
a
you
bit closer to
yeah,
her.
yeah, like if you think about it, like let's say like you said, it's all about connections and partnerships. So in transition too, I mean, you could see Banda going more towards here, Marta towards here, and then Prisk ends up being your number 9, and you kind of take a little bit of the load,
Yeah.
and you have Banda become more of a generator of attacking plays. I like this a lot. I think Sep should go to a 5-back formation. I would love to see this. I think Chalufya and Banda up top. I think it's gonna be like what? Like, and if
That'd be dangerous.
it clicks and if it works and the floodgates open, I'll be doing that every game.
I
It's
mean,
just my
you could also put wide balls in,
yeah.
like you got 2 big strikers in on up the field together. Marta's got 2 strikers to pass it up to. I just think, like we said all episode, the formation right now, everybody seems to spread out. We're not close enough to each other. There's not enough connectivity happening in the final third. So we got to try something different. Maybe
For
it won't be
sure.
against Kansas City though. I doubt that.
Yeah, it's a partnership on the works, hopefully, and definitely a W against Kansas City. For that, we're gonna read some comments. It says here, I would start Watt over Prisca, says Shinta. This match, she's a better defender. It says, will be good to see Prisca get going after scoring the last match. Angelina over Morgan, Brazilian versus Brazilians. Debinha's been on fire. Hey, Angelina, hands down, won as the title, just as Washington. Yeah. Banda Hattie calling it. They're going to figure it out this match in my dreams. So, it'll be great to have a Banda hat trick for sure. It'll be great. I'll be so happy for her for sure. And they played a little Taylor Swift tune. Feeling like 22. Yeah, there you go, my Swifty side. There you go. We're going to predictions.
Yes, sir. Predictions.
Predictions. Who do we got? Let's see.
I gotta fill out the last result.
Oh man. Oh yeah, we did. We didn't participate.
We missed our predictions for last week. So
Yeah, sorry guys.
I could tell you
It's my fault.
I thought it was gonna be a 2-1 win. That was my prediction. So I was wrong. Obviously we lost against Portland. And we drew with North Carolina. All right, Luis, what do you got? What do you got for KC Current?
You guys not gonna believe it, but I'm going for a 4-1 Pride win.
Whoa.
I want to see all the pundits cry. What are they gonna talk about? I don't know, but I want to see some blood.
Alrighty.
4-1.
I'm gonna predict my first draw of the season.
Oh man,
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say it's a 2-2.
2-2. Well, that seems more of a
I'm predicting sad realistic results so that it won't happen, because that's the trend this year. If I predict a win, we get a draw or a loss. If I predict a draw, maybe we'll get a win, Luis. So I think it's going to be a goal fest, but I think it's super tight. I'm going to go draw on this one. I think it's based on our current form and based on KC's form. This is going to be a really tough game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think your result is possible, and I wouldn't be upset. Be honest with you, if it becomes that way.
Like
I mean, John, look, imagine
Courage in their house. A draw is acceptable. Current, we want to win every home game, but are you going to be upset against a draw against the KC
a really
Courage?
good team?
Probably not.
Now, isn't it funny how we've been through talking about the Pride barely making playoffs to, we'll be okay if we draw against Kansas City and stay top 2. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm telling you.
I mean, we really don't want them to win, because then they're gonna pull away from us in the table. If we draw, we're gonna stay a couple points behind them, stay in contention. A win obviously takes us back up to the top. So it's hopefully a win, Luis. I'm trying to put my realistic head on, and I think it's a tough ask. I think there's going to be goals in it. I don't think we're getting a clean sheet. I don't see a clean sheet right now for this team. I think there's too many errors.
You don't see a clean sheet, so
I think there's too many errors in the back line.
So you think my result is like super far fetched?
No, I think your result could totally happen. I think the 4 is maybe too many, but
I mean,
it could happen. If KC crumble and they're chasing the game and it's all us, it could happen, right? We go up a couple goals and they start to really come at us and open up even more. It's all about gameplay. I think whoever scores first in this one, crucial. I honestly think whoever scores first will win the game.
Yeah, I just wanna, people are always like rooting for KC and they never root for us. And I just want him to, I just want to prove him wrong, be like, hey, respect Orlando Pride, you know what I mean? Like we're the champs, so it'll be great to see the whole attack click in this game. It'll be tremendous.
Well, I'm
And I
sure
think,
everybody wants us to lose this one, Luis. Everybody,
oh,
unless
for
you really
sure.
don't like KC, then I think the rest of the league is for them.
Well, I just think that they're the hot team right now. I mean, they just brought the guy from what's it name? Just Sudeikis, whatever, Ted Lasso. I'm
Yeah.
talking about
Well, he
the
is
golf.
from there, I think. So
Oh, he's from Kansas City. All right. Well, they brought
maybe,
both of
maybe
them.
not.
They brought both of them talking about the goldfish
Well,
and
Ted
things like
Lasso's
that.
character's from Kansas. I don't know about Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It says here, Dinardo D. It says I'm going to say if Orlando wins, that's big time result for the Pride considering the recent form, especially in the offense. I know, Dinardo. I'm Dino. I'm a little bit of an idealist right here. I've gotten a couple of good results in my predictions, though. Whenever we feel like we're kind of down, we've gotten some good results. So we'll see. 0-0 draw. Come on, Anna, don't blunder it. No, come on. Dino is like 4-1. I just what are you smoking, Lewis? I know. Even Shinta laughs. Okay, guys, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see who
Luis has
laughs
been,
laugh.
I gotta say, when we predict on the Orlando City side, Luis has got it right 3 times. Like we've not had any luck on Pride this year, but
Yeah, no luck
you
at
know, we
all.
we get them right every once in a while. So I don't know, Luis. Maybe should I be happy if I get it right with 2-2?
Yeah, this is Dino from ITC. Yeah, Dino. Yeah, of course, Dino, my friend. Miss you guys. There you go. Hopefully everything's going good at West, my friend. Hopefully everything's doing good.
Yeah,
Wikipedia
I gotta
says,
catch up on my Into the Channel shows this week.
yeah. Wikipedia says Sudeikis did grow up in general vicinity of Kansas City. There you go. There you go.
Well,
Then
there
who are
we
we
go.
bringing? Who are we bringing? Stuff.
We got Carrot Top waiting in the wings always. He's ready to
We
come
got we
out.
got we got the we got the singer from Creed. He's from Orlando. We
Yeah.
should bring Creed to sing the
We've
national
got
anthem.
we've got Joey Fatone, he'll come out.
Oh, Joey Fatone.
Yeah,
There you
if
go.
if he's allowed to
And then
sell his
you and
hot
I
dogs,
can
he can
join.
come.
He sells hot dogs, Joey Fatone.
He had a hot dog company at one point. He had a hot dog truck.
Really?
He used to come out to the tailgates selling hot dogs. No lies.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yo, we should come. We should invite Joey Fatone, and then you and I and Joey could be the new NSYNC.
Yeah. There you go.
That'll be
Uh,
something good to write about.
well,
All good,
Luis,
says Dino.
I hope we get this win. I even though I'm predicting the draw, I
Yeah, I
really
know.
do hope get this win.
It's
Because
turning points, man. It's a turning point.
everybody is so pumped for Kansas whenever we play them. So I cannot wait to see which way this one goes.
Yeah, I can't wait either. I think it's gonna be a phenomenal game. I think Orlando is coming right now in a little slump offensively, like Dino was saying. But you know, um, it's all or nothing, man. I think in here it's a derby that's gonna set the tone, and I think for Orlando's aspirations, this is a massive test, and hopefully everything goes well for Seb.
Yes, indeed. You want to do the socials and
All
get
right.
out of here?
Yeah, definitely. We wanted to go ahead and thank you for your support. We are Loud and Proud Orlando. This is the Pride Pod. We're going to be on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on X, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Check us out. And I'm on X as Pineda_ROL and John Rollins OCSC for John. So anything else you want to add, John, before we go?
No, just if you're watching on YouTube, please go ahead and subscribe. I know a lot of people watch but are not subscribed. So if you could do that for us, that would be a big help. It gets us further up in the algorithms and gets more and more people to find us. I know there's so many Pride fans or Orlando City fans out there that have never heard of Orlando or never heard of LPO. And hopefully we want to get those people on board. So like the video, share, tell your friends. All of that helps us out. We appreciate all you guys who join us every week and drop comments. Hopefully, we could be talking about a win this time next week.
All right, guys. Well, again, we're gonna have a good game. Hopefully, a couple of good wins coming up for the Pride. And again, stay true and vamos Pride. Take care, guys. Have a wonderful
Vamos,
night.
Pride.